My biggest financial regret that I've ever had in life was purchasing a home back in 2021 for these three reasons.
Did you know an air conditioner system costs $18,000?
In 2022, we purchased our first townhome, and it's 2025 and our home has not gained any equity.
So recently we went over how so many people are having a difficult time selling their home right now in this market with high interest rates and overall high home prices just scaring a lot of people away. I thought it'd also be a good idea to take a look at some people with home buyer's remorse. If you bought over the past couple years, the market has probably not been kind to you. We have a number of reasons why people are regretting their purchases, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just jump right into it.
In 2022, we purchased our first townhome, and it's 2025 and our home has not gained any equity. Nothing at all. I could go into this. I'm still so mad at myself about this. I actually got my real estate license and I was going to be a realtor. Anyways, I was the one that was the realtor for our purchase. My broker was not helpful at all. Not at all. I made such a big financial mistake. I mean, clearly, right? We have no equity in our home. We overpaid completely. Broker didn't care. She got a nice cut off of our sale. So many things went wrong, like so many things. I still can't get over it. Obviously, I'm talking about it. It's 2025. I'm still not over it. I could do a whole series of like this, but it's insane. Anyone have any advice on how to get over these things? Because don't know how to forgive myself for this financial mistake.
So to me, it kind of sounds like she's just mad that she didn't start gaining money or equity immediately. She probably saw all the clips online of people owning homes before 2020, and of course the prices skyrocketed, so she just kind of expected it to keep happening all the way up to present day, and that's just not the case. Some of the comments, it's been 3 years. Girl, give us a call in 20 years. People got spoiled during COVID and think 40% appreciation is normal. I think it's because you bought a townhome. It does of course depend on how much they paid for the townhome, but they said they overpaid, so they're not in a good spot. But overall, single family homes are definitely more desirable. It's because everyone in 2022 were paying crazy prices with overbidding just because of the low interest rates. I asked you guys as well, do you regret buying your home? Yes, it's now gone from new to a salvage attempt to finally demolition. Now I have to rent again at $13.35 a month. New construction townhouses, and that is a very good transition into the next clip.
My biggest financial regret that I've ever had in life was purchasing a home back in 2021 for these three reasons. Number one, I had to put a 30% down payment on my home. My down payment was roughly around $330,000. I bought my 2-bedroom, 3-bath townhome for $910,000. And the reason why we had to put so much down at the time was just because of my income. I was only making around, I think, $100,000 to $110,000. That was the only way we could get the math work. Now, my monthly mortgage payment, if you factor in interest, taxes, HOA, etc., it's roughly around $4,200. If I was renting right now, I could probably rent a really nice 2-bedroom condo or apartment for $3,500. So that would save me $700 a month. However, had I just not bought a home, I could have taken that $300,000 and $10,000, $20,000 that I used as a down payment and just invested in the stock market. We all know the stock market bottomed in 2022, and man, you see where it is today, right?
Right off the bat, I know this is what everybody says. They should have bought Bitcoin when it was $1,000, right? We'd all be rich. But I thought it was crazy that he bought an almost $1 million townhome while making around $10,000 a month. I don't know if he has a partner that makes significant income or he had some sort of a savings nest egg, something along the lines of that, because the prices just don't add up. But we could go right over to the second part of the video.
Number two, in the market that I live in, renting is actually cheaper than buying a home. Again, as I previously stated, I probably am paying an extra, $700 to $1,000 more per month by owning a home rather than renting one. And then number three, owning a home is just really, really overrated. There's maintenance that you have to worry about. I've already had to replace an AC, and my home is like 3 to 4 years old. So it's actually really, really new. I'm sure at some point I'm going to have to replace a dishwasher, a washer and dryer. Owning a home is not cheap. There are a lot of expenses that come with maintaining a home. And You have to do it yourself. If I lived in an apartment complex, I could call the landlord and then they would send somebody to help me fix the problem.
So he already had to replace his AC in a 3 to 4 year old construction build. An almost $1 million new construction build, might I add, which is a little bit of foreshadowing to what we're going to see later in the video, but rent prices have been going down recently across many cities all over the US, so he's currently paying even more money to own a most likely overpriced new construction townhouse and is already having to deal with things breaking like the AC we're about to see can be extremely expensive as well. But we have a comment from one of you guys. A big way a lot of these people make money is upselling luxury for a big markup with external finishes, but in reality, it'll rot and deteriorate in less than 5 years. It's faux luxury. Now, the last clip, of course, didn't show anything about his townhome, but I could almost guarantee it was marketed as a new luxury modern townhome with all the same finishes that you're probably thinking of in your head right now. And unfortunately, that put him in a pretty bad spot.
Everybody wants to own a home. I hope everybody gets the chance to own a home. But if you live in a rental or you live in an apartment, whatever, think about, you can call the landlord when it breaks. Did you know an air conditioner system costs $18,000? $18,000. Our air conditioner went out. We live in Bakersfield. It's 100 and hail in Bakersfield. This air conditioner man came out yesterday. Air conditioner man, $18,000. And we have them home warranties cancel that. Just save your money. But when you're thinking about or sad about that you don't have a home yet, think about that. Our house was brand new when we moved in. We had it built. We've been in here for 10 years. I understand you got to keep things up, but $18,000, sir? Mind you, the water heater went out last month. That was like $1,000, but still, what the f***? And now my refrigerator has the audacity to feel like it's not getting cold. Stay in your rental.
Owning a home is overrated. Owning a home is like having a car that's about to be paid off, and then all of a sudden stuff wants to start breaking. Get at least 3 quotes for that air conditioner to hopefully bring down the cost under a used car price. Another comment from you, not gonna lie, this helped me feel better about renting right now. I'll take my time finding the right home. Because as I say every time making these videos, I'm of course not against owning a home. I would like to be a homeowner one day, but it doesn't really seem worth it in many cases right now in 2025. But there were so many people who jumped the gun a little too late during COVID, thinking that the prices were just going to constantly skyrocket, or they had a little bit of FOMO like the first clip. She saw other people gaining equity in their homes very quickly, so she wanted to do the same thing, and now it's been 1,000 days since she bought the townhouse, and it's not increased one bit. But we have another clip up on screen right now. Let me de-influence you with home ownership. A new HVAC costing $40,000. New water heater was $3,000. Mice in the basement, $150 for traps. Tree trimmings were $6,000. Structural issues that they haven't fixed yet, so that's definitely not going to be cheap. New roof and repointed chimney, another $17,000. I don't even know what to say about that one, man. I mean, you're talking about a minimum of $65,000 to repair the house. I used to want a house, but love calling the landlord for all the issues. But I hate the rent prices at this point. You can't win. You really can't. Another one on screen as well when you bought a house in your early 20s, but it ended up being your worst financial decision, and now you're 24 and can't leave because you have negative equity. So maybe you got approved for a loan that you probably shouldn't have taken. You get in over your head with the repairs on the house, the mortgage, the property taxes, everything that goes along with it, but now you're trapped because you are underwater. So even if you sell it right now, you'll be losing a ton of money. Some of the comments: buy a house with the intent to own it for at least 5 years. You won't see a return in investment if you pay top dollar and turn around and sell it in 2 years. So many people are trying to do that right now. Wait it out, it's only negative equity if you sell too soon, unless you absolutely need to move. But if you can't afford the current monthly payments right now, what other option is there other than to possibly foreclose? I closed in February of this year, and I can't get over how silly I feel and can't fathom how anyone is so excited to have a home. Times are different now, and owning a home is no longer the same experience. I feel like there should be more research done then before you purchase the most expensive asset you're ever going to own. Now for this next one, I'm going to see into the future, because if anybody buys this home for this price, they're almost guaranteed to be underwater in this house if they try to sell it, because the prices some of these houses are being listed at is just ridiculous.
This home is such a secure investment for first-time home buyers. Look at that new roof on this home. This is listed by Lisa McNally with Windermere, and it's under $500,000. It's listed for $460,000. And I'm going to tell you, let's walk inside. Mini split, recessed lighting overhead. There's upgrades that this would not be a money pit for a first-time home buyer. There's a new hot water tank. You have 3 beds, 1 bath, and really it makes the most of 1,028 square feet.
Okay, so if the entire beginning of this video is to try to convince everybody who's watching this TikTok that this is a good investment, you won't be underwater, I promise, please, this is fine. Please buy this house from me. That probably means you should turn around and run. But we could take a look at some of the comments. That's worth about $149,000. Let's get real. Such a secure investment, it's overpriced by a solid $200,000, overpriced by about $400,000. This is honestly so depressing. This is a $90,000 home. Updated shack for $460K. Are we serious right now? I love how the person trying to sell this home is acting like it's a steal. But I mean, it's not really surprising. This, of course, is a realtor account. Their job is to try to sell you the homes for the commission checks. I just thought, even from the thumbnail, this is a very tough sell for people when the argument is that it's under $500,000 when it's just a simple house flip that's 1,000 square feet. But this has become so common over the past few years. We just have a clip here. Millennial life perfectly summed up in a single image. House sold in 1999 for $162,000 and then listed up for sale for $1.4 million. I get it, it was almost 25-year difference. Inflation, of course, made everything much more expensive, but still, it almost feels like it's disrespectful for any of the potential buyers. Another comment from you guys, new houses are being built on my street. They delivered all the wood used to build the houses right before a storm, and then the wood sat in 2 feet of water for over a week. I didn't know it was even legal to build a house like that. It's going to have black mold before the house is even finished. Pretty good transition to the next clip that's up on screen right now. More expenses 2 weeks into owning our new home. And they also have a ton of mold everywhere. Even after repairing it and trying to get rid of it, on top of it, a broken ladder being $450, nail through a copper pipe, it burst, another $225. We could just keep going on and on. POV, you just closed on your dream home. And we have more and more mold throughout the entire house. Whoever owned that house knew all about the mold. Yep, they denied all allegations, and unfortunately every lawyer we consulted said it's a 50-50 case and it's not worth spending money over. So you just got screwed. I wish we weren't in the same club. A lot of houses in Florida are selling with flood damage. Somebody asking no inspector? Ironically, we paid for all and every inspection you could think of. We spent thousands. The mold inspector we hired said that it was hard to test mold samples through the air, so the inspections aren't 100%. We tried to sue, but it didn't go well for us, unfortunately. So you could even spend a ton of money on these inspections, and it's still not guaranteed, and they have to deal with all of this. This happened to me as well. I was so angry and upset. Same thing happened to us 7 years ago. I'm still fixing things little by little. Another comment from you guys, in Sweden, part of the package, if you hire an inspector, is an inspection insurance. So if something goes wrong that an inspection should have caught, you could claim it on said insurance. This means more misses an inspector has, the higher his premiums are going to get, so he will either need to take less of a cut or he's going to need to raise prices, not making him competitive price-wise. And in the end, for a consumer, it doesn't matter, since you'll get your stuff fixed on someone else's dime. If we also had that kind of stuff in the US, we would see a lot less examples of this online, but all I'm seeing are housing prices just going higher and higher.
Now, I'm no real estate expert, but I have never seen a sign that says starting from the low millions. Usually it's a couple 100,000, but the millions is crazy. This is what an unfinished $1 million home looks like. This is what it looks like finished. Worth $1 million? I don't know. That's the size of your backyard for an M. Somebody got some money because they are selling these things. Now, I'm not feeling how fast they putting together these $1 million homes. I bet you my skinny self can punch through that.
It should be brick for $1 million plus. I agree. They robbed all of us. Whoever's paying millions to live in Exton, PA needs to reevaluate their decisions. Did I just see siding? One window on the side of a house for $1 million? And again, no backyard, no land. I really just don't get it. And we have a comment from one of you guys. I was approved for a $350,000 mortgage, but refused to buy anything over $200,000. My mortgage is $745,000. Over $4,000 is crazy. As I said earlier, people are getting approved for loans that they probably shouldn't, and then buying a $1 million new construction build that's basically made out of paper mache. Then it starts immediately falling apart, possibly getting mold, having to pay 4 or 5 figures out of pocket on top of the ridiculous mortgage price to begin with. But it seems like people are getting hounded, especially if you watch these types of videos. Another comment: clicked on this video and immediately got an ad for a bank lending out loans for mortgages. And people have been seeing these high prices for such a long time that we're starting to get desensitized. I think I finally got inflation desensitization. Caught myself saying that's not too bad at a $400,000 house that sold for $135,000 in 2019. Some of the comments: bought a 12-pack of soda today, $11 at Safeway. I remember like it was yesterday when Safeway had a 2 for $7 deal with 12 packs. I used to think a $170,000 house in 2019 was expensive, and it won't go back. It really sucks. I've been saying that about cars lately. $40,000 isn't bad, and people actually buy them. It's the funniest part of all. And in this video, we're seeing the consequences of that as well. My parents bought my childhood home for $60,000 back in '97. The house was built in 1966. They sold it in 2018 for $187,000. That house is now $325,000. The area is ghetto. I don't even know what to say anymore because I have so many more examples for this video.
Have you ever wondered what America's worst housing market is? Well, the Wall Street Journal just called it out. America's worst housing market is now officially Florida's Cape Coral, according to the Wall Street Journal. And as somebody who studies real estate pretty closely around the country, I'm not surprised that it's something on Florida's Gulf Coast. Real estate out there has been getting hammered. I mean, here's a graph in that same article showing the change in the median housing price in the area year over year since 2018. As you can see, during COVID, during the times of cheap money, things went through the roof. And then once inflation hit in mid-2022, prices came back down to earth. And now that we're in 2025, things are starting to change for the worse. In fact, the number of homeowners who are underwater on their houses, meaning they owe more than what the house is worth, is approaching 8%. So that's not good. And then this is especially wild, but this is a picture back from 2009 where you can get a foreclosure boat tour. So you can hop on a pontoon boat with your friends and ride around the canals of Cape Coral and look at houses that are getting foreclosed on to see if you want to buy your next vacation house.
So I know that Florida is probably one of the biggest examples of real estate crashing right now, but this is happening throughout many cities all over the country. I know Austin's also taking a hit. Basically, a lot of the popular areas where people moved during COVID, bringing up the home prices very quickly. And now, unfortunately, if you bought at the wrong time, you're probably underwater.
I bought a house at 23, and there's a bunch of people don't tell you about buying a house, by the way. Or maybe they do. Maybe I'm just dumb and didn't do any research. I don't know. But in case you didn't know, here's some no one tells you about buying a house. Your mortgage can increase. Your mortgage is not stable. It can increase because every year your property taxes and your insurance increase. So that mortgage that's going to be so nice because it's not going to increase like your rent, no, it also increases. Your mortgage is going to be the least of your problems. Your house is going to have so many problems. There are so many things that can go wrong that you've never even thought about, that has never even crossed your mind. I don't want to know. Actually, I kind of do know. I actually might add it up. How much I've spent on house repairs this year. 1 year alone. I've only owned a house for like a year and a half, barely. And the amount of repairs and just, now there's another problem. I have like water leaking into one of my rooms in my basement from the ground. I don't even really know what's going on.
So this kind of sounds like another example of somebody purchasing probably the most expensive thing they're going to buy in their lifetime and not really doing any research. I just don't get it. People do it with vehicles all the time. They unknowingly purchase a very unreliable car just because they like the way it looks or the manufacturer, the badge on the front and back, and then depreciation hits them like a ton of bricks. The maintenance cost is through the roof and they're surprised. I would say a home is exponentially worse because you're paying way way more money than you did for that Jeep Wrangler or something along the lines of that.
My mortgage payment went up nearly $1,000 because my property taxes more than tripled from last year to this year. So let's talk about it. I bought a house last year, May of 2024 in South Florida. I purchased it with FHA at a 6.625 interest rate at a 30-year fixed. Now, my mortgage payment alone, just with principal and interest, was $2,277.05. It's important to note that that's not what I'm going to pay the lender every month, because you have to add on top of that your property taxes, insurance, and that's held in escrow. Escrow is a separate account managed by your mortgage lender, which holds the funds for when it's time for you to pay your property taxes and home insurance. As stated in the beginning of the video, my property taxes for 2025 tripled, which now makes my mortgage payment $4,002.
First mistake being Florida. They try to convince us buying is the best way of life. Nope, never again. This is not the only problem we've seen with escrow as well. There were many examples of people having to pay over $1,000 or $2,000 more a month on top of their mortgage and everything else, and most people couldn't afford that. We got an image up on screen right now. Tell me your worst mistake as a homeowner. I'm talking hindsight is 2020, most costly, time-sucking blunder that could have saved you years off of your life. Never use the inspector that the realtor recommends, ever. Don't buy a house with an HOA. You don't need a giant house to be happy. D.R. Horton Builder, enough said. Don't buy in a flood zone. I don't care if the home had never had water before, just don't do it. Nothing wrong with buying a small affordable house to learn how to be a homeowner. New construction homes can be enticing, but the quality of work and materials that go into them is not what it was decades ago. Underestimating how expensive everything is. I knew owning a home would be expensive, but I didn't realize everything would cost in Oregon. I don't know, every time I make one of these videos, it scares me even more about buying one day.
I am coming up on 2 years of owning my house, and there's definitely a lot of things I didn't consider when going to buy it that I now definitely regret. Number one, neighborhood over everything. The area and the location is the most important factor. The neighborhood I purchased my house in was in neither of my top 2 or 3 neighborhoods in Minneapolis, and I should never have veered away from them. My house in those neighborhoods would have been like $100,000 more, so it would have been out of my budget. And I wish I would have just like stepped back and figured out how to make that work, because right now I'd rather be paying any amount of money more to be living in one of those neighborhoods. The second regret is I didn't really consider how big the yard was. My house is on like a double long lot, so my yard is huge and it is way too much work for just me.
I just feel like these would be issues that would be thought about before you purchased. You're in a neighborhood that you don't really want to be in, but it is cheaper overall. But it sounds like it makes her incredibly unhappy. And then wouldn't you take a look at the lawn before you purchased and realize that you're going to have to do all of this yourself, or at least hire someone to do it? I don't know. I just don't really get it. So with a lot of these issues and increasing costs, people are trying to sell their houses right now and not having a good time doing so.
My husband and I are in the middle of trying to sell our house, but this market right now is absolutely horrible. Our house has been on the market since like the middle of March, and it's about to be June tomorrow, and still hasn't sold. We've had to drop the price, I think 3 times. Yeah, 3 or 4 times at this point. And we're just noticing a lot of houses in our area are doing the same thing. They're just sitting on the market and just having to continually drop the price. And they're great homes and they were priced fine, but I don't know, just with everything that's going on in the market, I think people are afraid to buy. Obviously interest rates are really high. It's just been a lot. We've had so many open houses, and what's really hard is like today I'm solo parenting, so I have 2 under 2 plus our dog. So, and it's like almost 100 degrees outside, and I have to be out of the house for 3 hours.
I think everything that you need to know about this clip is summed up in the screenshot, because this TikTok was made located in Southern California. I can't imagine how expensive all of these homes are, even though she thinks that they're all reasonably priced. But if that was the case, people would be buying those homes right now, and they're not. Surprise, surprise, in this high cost of living climate, people don't have $1 million to buy a shack in Southern California right now. So you're going to have to do a lot more price drops to actually actually sell your home.
We are probably going to lose money on this house when we sell it. It's what the estate agent basically told us when he came round to value our house. Now, in hindsight, we probably paid too much money for this house when we bought it in 2022. And although we've done a fair bit of work to the house, we actually probably won't make any money on this house when we sell it. So is it really worth selling it at this point in time? Probably logically the answer is no, but in my heart of hearts, I still know that we want to move house, which is why I'm trying to keep on top of the cleaning and the tidying so that we can get estate agent photos done soon and officially put our house on the market, ready to get it sold.
So you're willingly going in knowing that you're going to lose money just because in their heart of hearts they want to move. There didn't seem to be any reasoning or explanation other than that. Some people's decisions to me are just crazy. But let's say you are done being a homeowner, at least for now, right? You're going to sell your house, you're going to go back to renting. Depending on what area you live in the country, it could have gone down in price over the past year or so, but that doesn't mean it's still not wildly expensive.
Can somebody tell me if I'm tripping? Like $2,500 for a 1-bedroom, 730 square feet. $3,190. So $3,190 for 830 square feet. And then you keep scrolling. Hold on. Where's another one? Down here, $5,000 for 950 square feet. Now, 950 square feet, that's a lot. But $5,000 in Atlanta, like 4 bands? Am I tripping? Like, is this not insane?
And I understand exactly what she's looking at. Where I used to live in New Jersey, a town near where I grew up that, to be honest, is not the best area, is building those new luxury apartments that are being rented out anywhere from $300 to $4,500 a month. I really don't know how anybody does it up in the Northeast, and that's why I moved away. But as we saw in a comment earlier in this video, you really can't win. The overall cost of home ownership is way too much for people, but you turn to the other side with the rental prices and they're still ridiculously expensive as well. We're just basically in a lose-lose situation right now. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.